ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Namaste, my dear friends. This is second part of the Narada Parivrajaka Upanishad. This video starts with Upadesha number 5. Then Narada said to the grandfather thus, "You said that sannyasa was the liberator of all karmas. Now you say again that the sannyasin is one that should be in the observance of his asarma, order of life. How to reconcile the two?" To which the grandfather replied thus, "To the jiva possessing the body, there are three avasthas." Avastha means condition. The waking, avastha means states. The waking, the dreaming, and the dreamless sleeping with Turiya the fourth. Those beings of Purushas that are subject to these avasthas follow the observances incidental to them of karma, jnana, and vairagya. Narada said, "O Lord, if so, what are the differences of different orders of sannyasa, and what are the differences of their observances? Please tell us truly." Therefore, the differences of sannyasa and the differences of observances were related for the sake of Narada by Brahma after assenting to his Narada's question thus: "Truly, sannyasa is of one kind only. On account of ajnana, inability, and non-performance of karmas of persons, it is divided into three and then into four. Thus, vairagya sannyasa, jnana sannyasa, jnana vairagya sannyasa, and karma sannyasa. The vairagya sannyasin is one who becomes an ascetic after being in a vicious condition of lust, etc., and then becomes disgusted with the objects through his former good karmas. A jnana sannyasi is one who becomes an ascetic with the four means of salvation after controlling the organs through book wisdom and becoming familiar with the experiences of the world of virtue and vice after abandoning anger, jealousy, envy, ahankara, and all sannyasa productive of identification, after giving up the three vasanas of the body, books, and world, which are of the form of desire for woman, wealth, and earth, and after thinking that the whole of the universe should be given up like vomited food. A Gyan Vairagya Sannyasin is one who becomes an ascetic as nature made him after practicing and enjoying all and having the body alone remaining through Jnana and Vairagya in the realization of the reality. A karma sannyasin is one who, though he has no vairagya, becomes an ascetic by regularly passing from one asrama to another, from the celibate to the householder, and then to the forester. A vairagya sannyasin is one who becomes an ascetic from the celibate order directly, being an nature made him. There is another fourfold classification. The four kinds are Vidvat Sannyasa, Jnana Sannyasa, Vividisha Sannyasa, and Karma Sannyasa. In Karma Sannyasa, there are two subdivisions, Nimitt casual and Animitt non-casual. Atura Sannyasa, on account of the cause of approaching death, disease, etc., is Nimitta Sannyasa. The karma regular sannyasa is animitta. Atura sannyasi Atura sannyasa is on account of defective karmas. When sannyasa is taken at the time of death, it is called nimitta. Animitta is that when one becomes duly a sannyasin, when the body is strong after being convinced that all created things are subject to destruction, that body and others should be given up, that all Atmas, souls, each one shining in the pure Akash, dwelling in all, moving in the Antariksha, middle world as of the form of Vayu, in the sacrificial pit as of the form of fire, in the moon, in all men, in the supreme angels, in the form of truth, in Akash, in the form of the conch, pearl, fish, etc., in water, in the form of grain, etc., on earth, in the form of the limbs of Vedas, in the form of rivers from the mountains, in the form of truth and the great one, are no other than Brahman, and others are but perishable, are no other than Brahma, and that others are but perishable. There are 6 classes of sannyasins: Kutichaka, Bahudaka, Hansa, Brahmahansa, Turyatita, and Avdhuta. Kutichaka is one who wears the turf of hair, holy thread, staff, bowl, loin cloth, and tattered cloth, who worships mother, father, and teacher, who has potsherd and sling, who is uttering mantras, who takes food in one and the same place, who wears vertically the white earth on the forehead as sect mark, and who has a staff. Bahudaka is one who, like Kutichaka, wears the tuft of hair, tattered cloth, etc., as well as the 3 sect marks, but who eats 8 morsels of food through getting alms. The Hansa is one who wears matted hair and the 3 vertical sect marks and eats the alms food without any limit as to the morsel, and wears the bare loin cloth only. The Pramhansa is he who is without tuft of hair and holy thread, begs food in one day from 5 houses, has one loin cloth, wears one red cloth alone, and sacred asses, and given up all. The Turyatita is one who either may take fruits, eating them with his mouth like cows, or if he is an eater of food, may beg food from 3 houses. The naked man having the body alone has the bodily actions quiescent like the dead body, such an one is the Turyatita. The Avdhuta is he who is without any rules, gets his food in his mouth following the course of the boa constrictor from all persons except persons of ill repute and outcasts, and is ever engaged in the realization of the real. Should the Atura Sannyasin be alive after taking sannyasa, he should take up regular sannyasa. The rules to be observed in the case of the three Kutichaka, Bahudaka, and Hansa are the same as for the orders of life from the celibate to the sannyasin. For the three Paramhansa upwards, they have no waist cord, loin cloth, bowl and staff. They may get food from all castes and should be as nature made them. Such are the rules. At the time of the sannyasa, the recitation of the Vedas should be made till the mind is cleared, and after casting aside in water the waist cord, loin cloth, staff, cloth, bowl, etc., he should roam about. He should be without even the slightest tattered cloth. He should neither utter anything other than parnava, nor talk, nor hear. He should not study logic or grammar. He should not talk many words, they will but pain his vocal organ. He should not converse with people through the vocal organ. He should not talk in other language than Sanskrit. He has no worship of God and no witnessing of festivals. He should be free from pilgrimage. The other rules of ascetics are: the Kutichaka should beg alms in one house only. For the Bahudaka, 8 morsels in 8 houses. For the Hansa, there is no limit. For Paramhansa, he should beg with his hand as the vessel in 5 houses. For the Turyatita, he should eat fruits with his mouth like cows. For Avdhuta, he should take food like a boa constrictor in all castes. The ascetic should not dwell in one place for many days. He should not make prostrations to anyone among the Turyatita and Avdhuta ascetics. Even though one is junior, he should not make prostrations to another, a senior who has known the reality. He should not swim with his hands and cross the river. He should not climb up a tree nor get into a carriage. Nothing should be purchased or sold by him. No exchange should be made, no ostentation for him. There is nothing for the ascetic to do. If there is anything for him to do, he will perish. Therefore, the only thing he is qualified to do is reflection, etc. To the Aturas and Kutichakas, the world they attain is Bhuloka and Bhualoka. To the Bahudakas, Savarloka. To the Hansa, Tapoloka. To the Pramhansa, Satyaloka. To the Turyatita and Avdhuta, Kaivalya in Atma, according to the analogy of the wasp and the worm through the realization of reality. It is the command of the Vedas that whatever form one thinks of at the last death moment and before leaving the body is attained by him and no other. Knowing it thus, he should not be a practitioner of anything but the realization of reality. Through the observance of any other, he goes to the world of that other. To one that he attained jnana, vairagya, his salvation is in the self, as there is no other observance for him. The same one, Atma, alone is styled Visva in the waking state, Tejasa in the dreaming state, and Prajna in the dreamless sleeping state. Through the difference of states, there is the difference of the agent presiding over them. To the 14 organs, the 10 organs of sense and actions, and the 4 organs of the mind in these states. The outer and inner virtis, modifications are the material cause. There are 4 virtis, which manas, buddhi, ahankara, and chitta. Through the differences of actions of the virtis, there arises the difference of separate functions. When the presiding agent is in the eyes, there is the waking state, in the throat, the dreaming state, in the heart, the dreamless sleeping state, and in the head, the turiya or fourth state. Knowing these and that the Turiya is the indestructible, one should not hear or see anything in the waking state as if he were in dreamless sleeping state. To such a one who does not apparently know them, even the dreaming state forms the same dreamless sleeping state. Such a one is termed Jivan Mukta. All the Vedas say that there is salvation to such a one. To the ascetic, there should be no desire of this world or the higher. Then he will be one that will practice accordingly through the practices of the study of books foreign to the realization of reality. He become a useless person like a camel wearing saffron paint. To him there is no entry into yoga books, no study of Sankhya books, no practice of mantra or tantra. Should there be any entry into other books than the one treating of reality, then it will be like an ornament to a dead body. Like a cobbler, he should be beyond karma and knowledge and unfit for salutation and repeating the names of the Lord. He will duly get the benefit of the karmas of his order of life, having given up all like the form separating itself from the castor oil, having mental staff which controls the mind, clinging to objects, having the hand as the vessel for eating, and having the quarters alone as the cloth. The ascetics should go about like a lad, idiot, or ghost. He should neither desire to live nor die, like a coolie abiding his appointed time of pay. The ascetic should bid his time of death. One who lives by taking alms without the qualifications of patience, wisdom, vairagya, and the qualifications beginning with sama, control of mind, is the spoiler of the order of life of an ascetic. There is no salvation obtained through the mere assumption of the staff or making the head bald or other disguise or through ostentatious observances. That man who has jnana as his staff is said to be the Ekadandi, one having Brahma alone as the staff. An ascetic who having merely a wooden staff without jnana eats all indiscriminately in all places, goes to the terrible hells called Maharorva. The sense of greatness in his case is likened by the rishis to the pig's dung. Having given it up, he should move about like a warm food and cloth without being begged for him by him should be obtained involuntarily through the will of others. A naked ascetic may bathe at the wish of another. A man who practices the meditation upon self in the dreaming state as in the waking is said to be the foremost and first of Brahmavadins. He should neither grieve for things not obtained nor rejoice at things obtained. With the organs not attached to objects, he should be engaged in the sole protection of life. He should always look down upon the gains obtained with much respect shown to him. Through the gains obtained with much respect, the ascetic, though released, becomes bound. What is meant by the protection of life is this: when the fire of the hearth in a house had been extinguished, and all have taken food, he may go to the houses of caste people that are fit for taking alms from. The yogin who has his hand only as his alms bowl should not often take alms. He may take food standing or sitting, so in the middle of taking food he may sip water. Those who have pure mind should not overstep the limits like the ocean. The great ones do not give up their self-restraint like the sun. When the Muni takes like a cow the food with the mouth only without the use of the hand, he becomes of equal vision to all beings. Then he becomes fit for salvation. He may, for alms, go from a forbidden house to a non-forbidden one. He should go for alms to a house where the door is ajar, but not to a house where it is closed. The Muni who has a dusty body, an inhabited house, or the foot of a tree as his abode, without anything dear or not dear to him, sleeping where the sun sets, without any fire worship, without any settled place, and with patience and the organs under control, should live without any desire in any place obtained. He who, after going to the forest, dwells with jnana as the sacrifice and the organs under his mastery and awaits his time of death is fit to be of the nature of Brahma. A Muni who goes about with no cause for instilling fear into all beings need never have any fear from them. One without any abhimana, identification with body or egoism or dualities or doubt, never is angry, never hates, never lies through the vocal organ. That person who, having visited all sacred places, does not do any injury to any living creature and gets alms at the proper time is fit to be of the nature of Brahma. He should not associate it with a forester or a householder. He should conduct himself in such manner as not to be known to others. He should not be glad of anything. He should roam about on earth like a worm. According to the direction pointed out by the sun, he should not do or cause to do works tending to his fame or pains or people's benefit. He should not be inclined towards vicious books. He should not live dependent upon any. He should give up all over disputations reasoning. He should not join any party fighting with another. He should not take any disciples. He should not study many books. He should not discourse, neither should be commence any works without any distinguishing characteristics and without letting others know his opinions. That wise man or muni ever intent upon the Brahmic vision should exhibit himself to people like an idiot or a lad or a mute person. He should neither do nor talk anything. He should not think of a good or bad thing. Rejoicing in that within himself, the Muni should go about like an idiot. He should roam about alone without associating with any and with his senses under control. The clever Jnani, sporting in Atma, ever delighting in Atma, looking upon all with equal vision, like an Atma Jnani and playing like a child, should wander about like an idiot. That learned man versed in Brahmavidya should talk like a madman. He should follow the observances of cows by eating with the mouth, causing no trouble to anybody. A good jnani, whether pushed, disregarded, slighted, beaten, or hindered by the vicious, or burnt by their acts, or having urine and facus thrown upon him by them, or afflicted in various other ways, should always think well of them, though pained, and thus make them lift themselves through their own selves. A yogi, whether praised or afflicted by others, never thinks of it in order to reach a superior state in yoga. A yogi who is slighted by people attain a higher state in yoga. A yogi never goes against the actions of the virtuous. He is the same whether people slight him or do not. Desire his association. He should do all that is right through the actions of mind, speech, and body to all beings born out of the embryo or the egg, etc. He should harbor no malice against any and give up all clinging to things. The ascetic, having given up passion, anger, pride, desire, delusion, and other faults, should be without fear, eating alms food, preserving silence, tapas, special meditation, a good jnana and vairagya. These are said in the opinion of the great to be the dharma of the ascetic. Wearing the red cloth and being ever in dhyana yoga, he should live either at the foot of a tree outside the village or in the temple. Daily he should live upon begging. He should not eat one food alone, from one only, till the mind becomes pure. The learned man should thus be moving about. Then, when the mind is purified, he may be anywhere as a Parivrajaka, seeing Janardana in and out everywhere, preserving silence, being without stand like Vayu, roaming everywhere, being equal in happiness and pains, and with patience eating whatever comes to hand equally, regarding without any hate Brahmana, cow, horse, beasts, and others, meditating through the mind upon Vishnu, that is Paramatma and Isvara, thinking ever of Brahmic bliss and thinking himself to be Brahma alone, such a one having known thus, regarding the staff to be no other than the certitude of the mind, as above, having no desire, being naked and having abandoned all samsara through the actions ever done through the mind, speech and body, attains salvation according to the analogy of the wasp and the worm, through the practice of the realization of reality without ever seeing the universe. Such is the Upanishad. Upadesha number 6. Narada, addressing Brahma, asked, O Lord, you said of Abhyasa, practice according to the analogy of wasp and the worm. What is that practice? To which the grandfather replied thus. 1. Which an ascetic should live with true speech and jnana vairagya, and with the body alone as the remaining possession. No jnana alone as the body, vairagya alone as prana, shanti mental control, and danti bodily control as the eyes, manas alone as the face, buddhi alone as kala, parts of effulgence, the 25 tattvas as the limbs, the avasthas as the 5 great elements, karma, bhakti, jnana and vairagya as the branches or parts, and that the waking, dreaming, dreamless, sleeping and turiya avasthas, and the 14 organs as being of the nature of a pillar planted in the mud. Though such is the case, the man who masters these through his buddhi like a boatman, regarding the boat immersed in the mire, or the elephant driver regarding the elephant under his control, and has known that all else beside self is illusory and destructible, and become indifferent, should ever utter, I am Brahma alone. He should not know anything as other than self. A Jivan Mukta, he lives thus, is a doer of that which should be done. He should not discourse that he is other than Brahma, but he should ever be discoursing, I am Brahma. From the waking, dreaming and dreamless sleeping states, he should reach the Turiya state and then Turiyatita, the state beyond Turiya. The waking state is in the day, the dreaming in the night, and the dreamless sleeping in the midnight. Each avastha or state has its substates. The functions of the 14 organs, eye and others mutually dependent, are the following. The eyes perceive forms, the ears sounds, the tongue perceives taste, the nose odors, and the vocal organs speak. The hand lifts, the leg walks, the anus excretes, the sexual organs enjoys, the skin feels, the buddhi perceives objects, being under the control of the organs through buddhi. He understands through chitta, he thinks through ahankara, he says I. All these should be abandoned through the identification with the house, the body. He, like a householder, become a jiva, thinking that the body is itself. The jiva is dwelling in his body when he is in the eastern petal of the heart. He is inclined to virtuous actions in the southeastern petal, to sleep and laziness in the southern petal, to cruel actions in the southwestern petal, to sinful actions in the western petal, to love of sport or to flirt in the northwestern petal, to traveling in the northern petal, to peace of mind in the northeastern petal, to jnana in the middle of the pericarp, to vairagya in the filament, to atma deliberation. Such are the different aspects to be understood in the heart. The first living avastha of jiva is the waking, the second is the dreaming, the third is the dreamless sleeping, the fourth turiya. That which is not these four is turyatita. The one Lord alone, that is witness and without qualities, appears as many through the differences of Visva, Tejasa, Prajna and Tatastha, the neutral. One should always utter I am Brahma alone, as in the waking state he is in the four states of the waking state and others. In the dreaming state he is in the four states of the dreaming state and others. In the dreamless sleeping state he is in the four states of the dreamless sleeping and others. In the turiya he is in the four states of turiya and others. To the turyatita, that is nirguna, such states are not. There is only one witness in all these states of Visva, Tejasa and Prajna, who is presiding over the gross, the subtle and the causal bodies. Is Tatastha the seer, or is he not? As to Tatastha, there is the property of seeing the jiva, that is affected by the egoism etc. of agency and enjoyment, is not the seer, the one other than jiva, which Tatastha is not concerned with egoism etc. If it is said that the jiva is not so concerned with egoism, then it is not a fact. Through the abhimana of the jiva, there is the abhimana of the body, and conversely, through the abhimana of the body, there is the abhimana of the jiva. The state of the jiva is as a screen to screen Brahma, like the pot and house in the pot Akash and house Akash. Through such a screen, he reaches self-realization through the mantra Hansa Soham, having the characteristics of inspiration and expiration. Having known thus, if he should give up the identification with the body, then he does not identify himself with the body, that is, not attain the state of jiva. Such a one is stated to be Brahma, having given up abhimana and anger, being content with moderate food, having conquered the organs and having controlled the avenues of the organs, one should make the mind enter into meditation. The yogi who has always controlled his mind and organs should ever diligently commence his meditation in empty places, caves and forests. The knower of yoga who is bent upon accomplishing the end should never be engaged in giving feast to Brahmanas in Shraddha, sacrifices, etc., or in going to places of pilgrimages, festivals, or crowds. The well controlled yogi should be about as if people had treated him with disrespect. He should not go against the actions of the wise. That great ascetic is said to be a tridandin, or having a three-knotted staff, who holds firmly the three danda, control of mind, speech and body. That ascetic is said to be a supreme person who begs alms food of worthy Brahmanas when smoke has ceased and fire has been extinguished in their houses? Is he not a degraded ascetic who, though holding the staff and begging food, is without vairagya and is not intent upon the observances of his order? He is an ascetic, not any other, who does not go to the house where he expects to find special alms or which he already visited. He is said to be, he is said to transcend all caste and orders of life, who realizes the self-shining supreme tattva that is without body and organs, the all witness, the real vijnana, and is of the form of bliss. To the Atma that is of the nature of jnana, such an idea as the order of life, etc., is mind being generated out of Maya in this body can never exist. He who knows thus through Vedanta is beyond all castes and orders of life. He from whom all castes and orders of life slip away through Atmic vision transcends them all and remains in Atma alone. That person is said by knower of the meaning of the Vedas to be Ati Varnasarmi, beyond caste and order of life, who after crossing all caste and orders of life abides in Atma alone. Therefore, O Narada, the caste and orders of life which are foreign to Atma are attributed falsely by the ignorant to Atma. O Narada, for those that are Brahmagyanis, there are no rules ordained nor prohibited. There is nothing to be given up or not. Similarly, nothing else for them. Having attained indifference to all objects, even up to Brahma's seat, having destroyed or done away with all fondness for everything as for son, relatives, wife, etc., and having faith in the path of salvation and through love of Vedanta Jnana, he should approach a guru who is a knower of Brahma with gift in his hand, having an equilibrated mind. He should satisfy the guru for a long time through service, etc., and learn with a steady, firm mind the meaning of the sentences of the Vedas. Then, being devoid of I and mine and of all attractions, and having attained peace of mind, etc., he sees Atma in himself. Through observing the faults of samsara, there arises indifference. There is no doubt that sannyasa arises in one who becomes disgusted with samsara. The aspirant after salvation, who is called Paramhansa, should, through the hearing, etc., of Vedanta, practice Brahmajnana, which is the direct and chief means of salvation. In order to attain Brahmajnana, the one named Paramhansa should possess the qualities of the control of mind and body, etc. He should always be a practitioner of Vedanta, being master of the mind, the body, and the organs, being without fear and egoism, with a firm mind without the pairs of opposites, without attaching himself to any, having a worn out loin cloth, and being bald headed or naked. He should have the great intelligence of the knower of Vedanta, a yogin without eye and mind, and being equal and friendly to friends and other beings. that Jnani alone and none else is able to cross samsara, who has his mind at peace. With the grace of the Guru towards him, he should live with him for 1 year. He should be careful to observe yama, restraint, and niyama, religious observance. At the end of that year, he should attain the supreme jnana yoga and roam about on this earth without going against dharma. Or at the end of 1 year, he should give up the three orders of life and attain the chief asrama of sannyasa, as well as the supreme jnana yoga. Then, taking leave of the Guru, he should wander over the earth, having given up association with wife, etc., as well as anger, and being content with moderate food and having controlled the senses. The householder who does not perform karma and the ascetic who performs karma both become fallen through their perverse doings. Each becomes intoxicated through seeing women. Each becomes intoxicated through drinking alcohol. Therefore, women, mere sight of whom is poison, should be shunned at a distance. Such things as conversation and proximity with and sight of women, dancing, singing, using violence against persons and disputations, arguments should be given up. Therefore, O Narada, to such a one there is neither bath nor muttering the mantras, nor worship, nor homa, nor means of accomplishment, nor any karma of fire, sacrifice, etc., nor worshipping with flowers, etc., nor karmas to the pitars, nor pilgrimages, nor religious observances, nor dharmas, nor adharmas, nor any rules of observance, nor any other worldly karmas. He should give up all karmas and worldly observances. That yogi of an ascetic who is a learned person having his intelligence directed towards reality should never injure any worm or insect, bird or tree. O Narada, roam through the world with vision ever directed inwards, with purity, with mind under control, with a mind that is full of Brahma, and all attraction given up without. The Muni that goes about alone does or should not dwell in countries where there is no king. In his case, there is neither praise nor prostration nor the propitiation of devas or pitars. Thus, the ascetic who has his abode changeful in body or changeless in Atma should be content with whatever he gets. Thus is the Upanishad. Upadesha number 7. Grandfather, after eulogizing Narada, who asked about the observance of ascetics, replied thus: the ascetic that has attained indifference to objects should stay in one and the same place in the rainy season 4 months, and then for the remaining 8 months should wander alone. Then alone the ascetic should not stay in one and the same place for more than a day. Like a deer that does not stay in one place on account of fear, he should not stay in one place. He should not create an attraction in his mind and that may serve as an obstacle to his going about. He should not cross a stream by swimming with his hand, nor ascend a tree, nor witness the festival of a god, nor partake of regal food, nor do the external worship of God. Having discarded all things other than the self, he should be with his body emaciated by taking food from each house like the bees from each flower. He should not increase the fat in the body. He should discard ghee like blood, regarding such royal food as flesh, sandal coating, etc., as offal, the different taste as the degraded caste, the cloth as a defiled vessel, the oil bath as sexual union, the gladdening of a friend as urine, desires as cow's flesh, the country known to him as the outcast, place gold and woman as cobra or deadly poison, the place of assembly as the burning ground, the capital of the town as the hell called Kumbhi Paka, and royal food as balls of rice offered to the dead. He should be without any worship of God other than the self, and having given up all the actions of the world and his own country, and ever thinking of the bliss of his self like the bliss arising from the discovery of a lost object, forgetting his country and the fondness for his body, and knowing that his body should be slighted like a carcass. He should dwell all away from son, relations, and native place like a thief released from prison, taking whatever comes to him without effort, ever intent upon the realization through meditation of Brahma Pranava, being freed from all karmas, having burnt up all passion, anger, greed, delusion, pride, malice, etc., having transcended the three gunas, having without the six human infirmities, without the six changes, speaking the truth and being opposed to all savory things, he should live for 1 day in a village, 5 days in a town, 5 days in a sacred place, and 5 days in sacred waters, with no settled place of residence, and with a firm mind he should dwell alone in mountain caves without uttering falsehood. Two persons should not join together. Should three join, there is created a village thereby, with four is formed a city. Therefore he should live alone in a village. In it the ascetic should not give scope to his 14 organs. Having attained wealth of vairagya through the non-dissipated jnana, and having deliberated within himself that there is none other than the self, he should attain Jivan Mukti, having seen the reality everywhere till Prarabdha karma is over. He should understand the four kinds of Savrupas in Tatvamasi, and should live in the realization of reality till his body falls a prey to death. To the Kuti Chaka there is prescribed a bath 3 times daily. To the Bahudaka twice. To the Hansa once. To the Pramhansa there is the mental bath. To the Turya Tita there is the holy ashes bath. To the Avdhuta there is the wind as the bath. For the Kuti Chaka there is the vertical sect mark. For the Bahudaka there is the three-lined horizontal sect mark, and for the Hansa, both for the Pramhansa there is the holy ashes sect mark. For the Turyatita there is the spot sect mark. For the Avdhuta, or for the Turyatita and Avdhuta there is none. For the Kutichaka shaving takes place once in 2 months. For the Bahudaka once in 4 months. For the Hansa and Paramhansa none, or if wanted once in a year. For the Turyatita and Avdhuta none at all. The Kuti Chaka should take the food in one place only. The Bahudaka should take arms in many places for the Hansa and Pramhansa. The hand is the vessel. The Turiya Tita should take food with the mouth as the cow. For the Avdhuta, it is like the action of the boa constrictor, opening the mouth and taking whatever comes into it. For the Kutichaka, there are two clothes. For the Bahudaka, there is one cloth. For the Hansa, there is a piece of cloth, and the Pramhansa should be naked or having only a loin cloth. In the case of the Turyatita and Avadhuta, they should be as nature made them. For the Hansa and Pramhansa, there is prescribed a deer skin, and for no others. For the Kutachaka and Bahudaka, there is the worship of the divine image. For the Hansa and Paramhansa, there is mental worship. For the Turyatita and Avadhuta, there is the idea that they alone are Brahma. The Kutichaka and Bahudaka are entitled to mantras and japas. The Hansa and Paramhansa to dhyana meditation. The Turyatita and Avadhuta are entitled to none, but they are entitled to the initiation of the sacred sentences of the Vedas. So also the Paramahansa, the Kutichaka and Bahudaka are not entitled to initiate others. For them there is the uttering of the mental parnava. For the Hansa and Paramhansa, there is the internal parnava in the heart. For the Turyatita and Avadhuta, there is the Brahma Parnava always. For the Kutichaka and Bahudaka, there is Sarvana, hearing and study. For the Hansa and Paramhansa, there is Manana, thinking and remembering. For the Turyatita and Avadhuta, there is Nidhi Dhyasana, profound meditation ever. For all these, there is necessarily the meditation upon Atma. Thus, the aspirant after salvation should ever be uttering the Parnava which enables one to cross samsara and be living as a Jivan Mukta. Thus, the ascetic, according to each one's capacity, should ever be seeking the means to attain Kaivalya. Such is the Upanishad. Upadesha 8. Narada asked Parmeshti Brahma to enlighten him who had surrendered himself to him about samsara tarka, or that tarka or parnava which lifts one out of samsara, assenting to which Brahma began thus: Omkara, that is Brahma, is the Vesti, individual, and the Samasti, cosmic. What is the individual? What is the cosmic? Brahma Parnava is of three kinds: Samahara, destructive Parnava; Srishti, creative Parnava; and Abhyasatma, Abhya, Abhyatmaka, belonging to both Parnava, as being of two forms, internal and external. It is also 8 Antah Parnava: Vyavaharika Parnava, Bahya Parnava, Arsha Parnava, Ubhyatma, Ubhyatmaka और विराट अंतः पर्णवा. व्यवहारिका पर्णवा, बाह्य पर्णवा, आर्षा पर्णवा, अध्यात्मका और विराट पर्णवा, संहरा पर्णवा, ब्रह्मा पर्णवा, and ardha matra parnava. Om is Brahma, Know that the mantra of the one-syllabled Om is Parnava. It has the 8 differences of Akara, Ukara, Makara, Ardhamatra, Nada, Bindu, Kala, and Shakti. No, it is not 4 alone. Akara is associated with 10,000 limbs, Ukara with 1,000 limbs, Makara with 100 limbs. Ardhamatra is of the nature of endless limbs. That which is Saguna associated with Gunas is Virat. Preservation Parnava, that which is Nirguna not associated with Gunas, is Samhara or destruction. Parnava, that which is associated with Gunas and is not so associated is Utpatti or origination. Parnava. Pluta, the elongated ascent is Virat. Pluta is Sanghara. The Virat Parnava is of the form of 16 matras and is above the 36 tattvas. The 16 matras are thus Akara is the first matra, Ukara is the second, Makara is the third, Ardhamatra is the fourth, Nada is the fifth, Bindu is the sixth, Kala is the seventh, Kalatita is the eighth, Shanti is the ninth, Satyatita is the 10th, Unmani is the 11th, Mononmani is the 12th, Puritati is the 13th, Tanu Madhima is the 14th, Pati is the 15th, Para is the 16th. Then again having 64 matras and their division into the two Prakriti and Purusha and resolving themselves into the 128 differences of matras, it becomes Saguna and Nirguna. Though Brahma Parnava is one only, it is the substratum of all, the sport of the whole universe, of the form of all Aksharas, letters, time, Vedas, and Shiva. This Omkara should be sought after, that is mentioned in the Vedas of the nature of the Upanishads. Know that this Omkara is the Atma that is indestructible during the 3 periods of time, past, present, and future, able to confirm salvation and utilized by Brahma sound Vedas. Having experienced this one Om as immortal and ageless, and having brought about the Brahma nature in this body, become convinced that your Atma associated with the 3 bodies is Brahma through Vishwa and others, Vij, Tejasa, Prajna, and Turya, in order the realization of Parbrahma should be attained. Since Atma is of 4 kinds, through his identification with and enjoying of the gross as well as the enjoyer of the gross, the subtle as well as the enjoyer of the subtle, and through his identification with the third body, enjoying bliss in the fourth, he has 4 feet. The one presiding over the waking state is gross, and since he is the enjoyer of Vishwa, the universe, he becomes the Sathula Prajna, gross consciousness. He has 19 facets and 8 parts. He is pervading everywhere and the Lord. He is the enjoyer of the gross and is the Chaturatma called Vishwa. He alone is the Purusha called Vaishmnara. He alone is Vishwajit, the conqueror of the universe. This is the first foot. When this Lord attains the dreaming of condition, he is the Sukshma Prajna, subtle consciousness. O conqueror of all, he is the one having 8 limbs and there is none else. He is the enjoyer of the subtle and is Chaturatma named Tejasa and the protector of elements. He alone is the Hiranyagarbha presiding over the gross or subtle matter. Rather, he is said to form the second foot. Susupti, or the dreamless sleep, is that state where one sleeps without any desire and where one sees not any dreams. The one identified with this dreamless sleep is prajna ghana, is blissful of the nature of eternal bliss and the Atma in all creatures. Yet he is enjoyer of bliss, has Chetas, consciousness as his one foot is all pervading, indestructible Chaturatma and the Lord, and is named Prajna, the third foot. He alone is the Lord of all, the knower of all, the subtle thoughted, the latent one, and the cause of all creation. He alone is the origin and the destruction. These three states are obstacles to all creatures obtaining the final peace. As is Swapna, so is Susupti, it also being said to be illusory. The Chaturatma, the fourth, as he is Sat Chit and Ekrasa, the one essence, and as the fourth and follow upon the heels of each of the above states is of the knower of means of Vikalp Jnana and the Anu Anugyanta, the one following knower, having known them and known as Maya, the three Vikalpas of Susupti, Swapna, and Antra. The inner, even in this state, is he not to be known as Satchit Eka Rasa. This shall be expressed as differentiated thus. It is not even the gross prajna, nor is it the very subtle prajna, nor is it prajna itself of the causal body. O Muni, neither is it trifling prajna, nor is it the non-prajna, nor is it the dual prajna, nor is it the internal prajna. Though it is without prajna, it is prajna ghana. It can never be known by the organs, nor it can be known by the region. It can be grasped by the organs of action. It cannot be proved. It cannot be reached by thought. It cannot be proved by analogy. It can be it can be realized by self-realization alone. It is with the waking state, etc. It is the auspicious with changes without a second. Such a one is thought to be Turiya. This alone is Brahma Parnava. This should be known. There is no other Turiya. To the aspirants after salvation, it is the spot like the sun everywhere. It is the self-light, as it alone is Brahma. This Brahma Akasa is shining always. Thus is the Upanishad. Now, Upadesha number 9. Rather, last chapter of this Upanishad. Narada asked, who is Brahma Savrupa? To which Brahma replied thus, Brahma Savrupa is thus, those who know that he, Brahma, is one and I am another are only Pasu's animal. The real Pasu's animals are no animal. The wise man who knows Brahma thus as himself and himself as Brahma escapes out of the mouth of death. There is no other path to salvation. Is time the cause of origination of universe or nature or karma or accident or the great elements or purusha? This should be considered. It is not the union of them. Then there is the Atma, but Jiva Atma is not the Lord, as it is subject to pleasures and pains. Those rishis following dhyana yoga have beheld as the cause the Devatam Shakti, concealed by its own qualities of that one that presides over all the causes associated with the time and Atma. Him, the universal soul, we considered as the wheel which has one circumference which is covered by three layers, which has 16 end parts, which has 50 spokes and 20 counter spokes, which has 6 times 8 nails, which has one rope of various forms, which has the threefold path, and which has delusion arising from the twofold cause, him or we worship as a river which has water oozing out of the 5 currents of organs, which is terrible and crooked through the 5 causes of elements, whose pranas are of the 5 waves, which has buddhi, etc., as the root cause, which has 5 viral pools, which is impelled by the velocity of the 5 pains, which has 50 differences, or has the 5 miseries, and which has the 5 obstacles in this wheel of Brahma, which is the sport of life and last abiding place of all beings, and which is infinite, is whirling deluded the jiva, thinking that it is different from the one Lord Ordainer. Being blessed by him, he gains salvation through such a blessing. This is declared as a Brahma within the universe, etc. Attain samadhi in Brahma and are absorbed in Brahma. Ishvara upholds this universe closely associated with the destructible and the indestructible, which are manifest and unmanifest. But the not ruler of Jiva, Atma, is bound through the thought of its being the enjoyer, and having known the Lord is freed from all fetters. Both Isvara and Jiva are birthless. One, the former, is Jnani and the other latter is Ajnani. The goddess of Brahmatma Shakti is birthless, is alone engaged in this world on account of the enjoyment of the enjoyers. Atma is endless. The universe is his form. He is not the agent. Whoever knows the Brahma, that is threefold as Jiva, Isvara, and the universe is released from bondage. It is Pradhana alone that is destructible. It is Isvara that is immortal and indestructible. The one Lord Isvara ordains Pradhana and Purusha. The illusion of the universe disappears through meditation on union or absorption and sattva bhava of Parameshwara always. Through knowing the Lord, avidya and the rest are destroyed. Through the removal of such pains, there is freedom from birth and death. Through the meditation of that Parameshwara, the third body is acquired. After this physical body, all wealth is enjoyed and he attains whatever should be attained. He should know with certitude that all the three things which the enjoyer, the enjoyed, and enjoyment are nothing but Brahma, and are of the nature of his own self. There is none, but it is to be known. All Atmic knowledge is through tapas only. That Brahma contains in itself all excellence. Having known thus, whoever meditates upon the Atma Saurupa, to him where then is grief, where then is delusion. Therefore the Virat is the past, present, future time, and is of indestructible nature. Atma, that is the atom of atoms, and the greatest of the greatest, is in the cave of the heart of all creatures. One without the thought of objects and without grief knows the Atma, capable of neither increase nor decrease through the grace of Isvara or through the non-attraction to the objects of the senses. He, Atma, walks speedily without legs, lifts objects without hands, sees without eyes and heart, and hears without ears. He knows all, but none knows him. He is said to be the foremost Mahapurusha. Having known Atma, that is bodiless in this fleeting body, the great, the all-pervading, the sport of all, with incomprehensible power, fit to be known through the meaning, etc., of all the Upanishads, the supreme of the supreme, object to be known, object fit to be known, the one remaining after all, the all-knowing, the eternal, the foremost of all foremost beings, the ordinaire of all, the one fit to be worshipped by all angels, the one without beginning, end and middle, without limit or destruction, the cause of Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra, the one that has all the universe latent in himself of the nature of the five elements, with the expansion of all the quantiplicated creation without being enveloped by his own limbs of quintuplicated objects superior to the supreme, greater than the greatest of the nature of effulgence, the eternal and the auspicious. The undaunted personage never grieves, one who has neither given up vicious actions nor controlled his organs, nor mastered his mind, nor given up longing after fruits of actions through the mind, is undisturbed, nor brought his mind to one state or point, will not attain this Atma. This Brahma is neither internal nor external. Consciousness is neither gross nor jnana nor ajnana, nor is it the state between the waking and the dreaming states. It cannot be cognized by the organs, is not subject to proof, is within. He who knows that which is by itself alone is an emancipated person. The Lord Brahma said that he becomes an emancipated person. He who knows reality is a Parivarta. Such a Parivarta roams about alone. Through fear, he is like a terrified deer. He will not be opposed to going anywhere. Having given up all but his body, he will live like a bee and without considering others as foreign to himself, ever meditating upon reality. He attains liberation in himself. Such a Parivarta will be without delusion, without action or causing others to act, being absolved from teacher, disciple, books, etc., and having abandoned all samsara. Such a Parivarta roams about thus, without wealth, being happy, able to get wealth if wanted, having crossed jnana and ajnana as well as happiness and grief. Being self-effulgence, being fit to be known by the Vedas, having known all, able to confirm siddhis, and remaining himself as Brahma and the Lord. Such a Parivarta attains the supreme abode of Vishnu, from which a yogin that has gone to it does not return, and where the sun and the moon do not shine, he does not return. Such is the Kabbalah, such is the Upanishad. So this completes the Narada Parivrajaka Upanishad. Dear friends, these things may look very fictitious, but these are all real. Only thing, we have to go deeper and deeper to our spiritual heart. When we are able to meditate deeper and deeper and reach the spiritual heart, we will understand the meaning of all these things. Till then, these things will always remain fictitious for the normal human mind. So, these Upanishadic terms can be understood only through the Atmic Shakti, not through mind. So, dear friends, go through these videos, contemplate, meditate, go deeper and deeper, and very soon you will realize all these things are not mere and fictitious talk, but a reality. Thank you. Namaskar.